My name is Nekesa. I'm Managing Director at the iHub. So at the iHub, our mandate is to help our startups build solutions that are relevant not just for their communities, but that they can scale across the world. And so we give them resources, we equip them with our networks, our curriculum that really helps them build their businesses to where they can begin to increase revenue and also scale. The iHub was launched in 2010, and so as far as how long have I been in this space, it's been since 2010 because I joined the iHub as a member and then only got onto the staff 2 years after that. Women in tech, I think our numbers have increased, not significantly since 2010, but what has increased is how proactive we are, how vocal we are now. And so now we're beginning to see women in tech come out a lot more, speak a lot more about their experiences, about what they're looking for, about the kind of support that they need, about the kind of support that they want to give. My experience in tech really began when I joined the iHub community. And back then, and even now, the community is extremely eclectic, which means you don't just get techies, but you get people that use tech who are part of the community. And so I joined as a person that uses tech and kind of immersed myself, in the community. And so what intrigued me was different ways that you can use technology. Yeah. Whether you're a blogger, whether you're an economist, whether you're in HR, you can use tech as a tool to help you build your product better, make it more accessible, and so on. And I think that's what's kept me at the iHub for 7 years now, going on 8. It's wanting to be in a position where I could, one, still continue to learn because you never stop learning about tech, but two, also use my experience and the experience of my team to help the innovators that use the iHub space, so even they can begin to take great advantage of what technology offers. My first highlight is actually the launch of the iHub. The reason that's a highlight is because the idea of the iHub, it was an idea that many people didn't get. Those that got it were very intrigued but didn't know what to do with that information. And so it wasn't until 2010 that everything aligned and there was financial support for it, there was the human resources for it, there was the actual space for it. My second highlight is that we are almost 10, and who would have guessed it? The iHub is turning 10 years old in March of next year. And over the years, incredible things have happened. We've had over 600 startups get support from the iHub. Together, they've raised over $40 million in investment for their startups, which is a big deal. Over 40,000 jobs to East Africa's economy can be attributed to startups that have come out of the iHub. Millions of people, millions of lives have been impacted positively by products that have come out of the iHub. So when I see those stories, and I know that the iHub had a little bit to do with that, for me that's enough to keep me coming back to the iHub. I think my final highlight is that after 10 years, we now finally have a Women in Business program. So a program specifically for women at the iHub, Women in Tech, again helping them to use tech as a means to advance their businesses, facilitated primarily by women, mentored primarily by women. So it's an exciting time for me. Many years ago, it just wasn't a viable option for girls. If you said you wanted a career in tech, you were kind of asked to rethink it and go for another career. The experiences that I have had from other women is that even in university or colleges, it can be a bit difficult to be a woman in a computer science class. Sometimes you feel overwhelmed, sometimes you feel that your voice is not heard in the class. And sometimes that causes you to rethink whether or not you want to be part of the class. And even when you come to the job market, you sometimes feel that you're not loud enough to be heard in a boardroom, to be heard in a classroom. I have a relative who said that when she was at first year at university, and when she went into her second year, her lecturer made a joke about, how many girls are still here? You haven't dropped out yet. And it's a sad thing, but also it's a real thing, because some girls, some women just get to that breaking point where they just think, maybe this is not for me. Yeah. When really in reality, I mean, if the boys can do it, the girls can do it. If the men can do it, the women can do it. And so the iHub has always intentionally tried to be eclectic as far as the community that we curate. That means we don't want to have just developers in the space, or people building a certain kind of product, maybe agri-tech or fintech. We want it to be everyone. And so that means, yes, you have the different thematic areas of the people that we incubate here. You also have different nationalities, and so you have people from across continents that have a base at the iHub. We have different skill sets. We have developers, we have people in HR, we have people in the civil society space, we have doctors in the space, we have researchers in the space. And it's really just a testament to the fact that tech at the end of the day is just a tool, and what it needs is for people to use it positively. My highlight has to be, it feels like this is maybe 2 years ago, at least as far as when it impacted me, when there was just, the women in tech just became so vocal and so open with each other about what was happening for them in their different spaces, what kind of opportunities they were looking for. And I think that's what we needed to just begin this conversation, and actually a movement to help to grow the numbers, but also help grow the quality of the work that was being produced by women in tech. So for me, the highlight and what I loved most was just that openness that women in tech began to have with each other and also with other people. One that sticks out as a low time for me was, like I mentioned, we have a Women in Business program that we launched this year. I wanted to do this 2 years ago. And obviously, well, before you launch a product or a program, you want to talk to different people whose advice you typically look for and ask them, what do you think, what should I change, etc., etc. And so I did this with one person, and he basically just talked it down and said he didn't understand why women needed these kinds of platforms. Why this pity party? Why can't you just go for it the way other people go for it? Why do they need something special? And it got to me, and I shelved the idea because it was someone that I respected. And I thought, if that's what he said, that must be true. And I forgot why I wanted to do it in the first place. And so I think my deepest regret there is that I didn't launch it 2 years ago. But we launched it this year. We launched it this year, and there are some incredible people, incredible women that are part of the program, and I hope you'll get to meet them really soon, building incredible products that are going to have amazing impact. And so I'm glad that I eventually got out of my head and refocused on what I needed to do and did it. And my word to other women, to young girls that are getting into the space is just that, it's do it. There's going to be negative words coming at you, negative people, but look for the positive ones because they're out there. We're out there, and we want to support them. So focus on the people that want to support you, not the ones that bring you down. For me, an ideal space for women in tech would be one that has an end-to-end pipeline. And what this means is right from when that girl child is born, the opportunities that they have, the toys that you give them to play with, really communicate that you can be anything you want to be. And when they begin to go to school, they have access to technology, they have conversations about innovation, and again, they're told that you can be anything you want to be.
Hi, my name is Caroline Reina Kimiu. I'm the founder of Sugar Punch Beauty, which is a beauty online platform for women who are looking for affordable skincare and makeup solutions. The weirdest thing about the name Sugar Punch, I just combined different names. Like just sugar sounds nice, punch sounds really good. Let me add them. But then when you search online, it's so strange because I get random phone calls from men looking for sugar mummies. It's true. It's true. Every week, I get about 3 phone calls. Young men, hi, is this Sugar Punch? Do you guys have sugar mummies? I'm like, no, but you can buy a sugar mummy makeup. But when men call, because these days men buy a lot of skincare products, when they call and say, hey, is this Sugar Punch Beauty? I'm like, oh, wow. Good job, Reina. That was a perfect name. It sounds really nice, though. Basically, e-commerce is selling products on an online platform. It could be WhatsApp, through WhatsApp, which is an online platform. It could be through Instagram, Facebook, or a website. I basically say my business chose me, like many things. All the jobs I've done have basically chosen me. I started off, I think, in the beauty scene when I tried out for Miss Kenya. And it's so weird. I became the second runners-up from a whole list of 40 Nairobi gorgeous, tall women. And at that point, I didn't know how to walk in heels, I didn't know how to properly dress, I didn't know how to present myself, so I started learning how to do makeup. And then because in uni, I was doing Bachelor of Commerce at the same time, so I knew eventually I will have to merge the two, my love for fashion and beauty, and my love for business. So I decided, oh well, you know what, my friends have businesses, why don't I start a business? I didn't know what to start with. So I was like, clothes, I tried the whole clothes thing, it didn't work. So I tried with lipsticks because most of my friends were trying to look for really good lipsticks at a low price and you couldn't get them in Kenya. At that point, it was either buying from Du Bois or buying really expensive lipsticks at like 2,500, Lancome and the expensive brands. So I was looking for something in between. I went online, searched for the most popular drugstore makeup and I saw Milani. So I was like, oh yeah, let me try this whole online shopping thing. So I bought a couple of pieces and I was like, yes, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to sell all of them and I'm going to be this rich female entrepreneur. But no, none of them sold. All the friends who were encouraging me to do it didn't buy from me because apparently I bought the wrong products. At that point, most Kenyan women wanted matte products, but then I brought in moisture lipsticks. So I had to make a decision. What do? Do I give up on it or do I buy more stock? So I took my 30K worth of stock, put it side and bought like matte lipsticks. And I came back to my friends and family who had told me, you know what, if you had matte lipsticks, I would buy. But they didn't buy. Right? So at that point, I sat down and thought about what I could do. And because I had worked for a social media marketing company, I was like, you know what, I could run an Instagram page. So I started posting and then I boosted. Strangers were actually more interested in buying from me than my own family and friends, which happens, but that doesn't mean you need to give up on it. So from lipsticks, my customers wanted more. They wanted powders, they wanted foundations, and then people started asking for skincare. I knew nothing about skincare, but I started learning. Like, the more people asked me for brands and products, the more I had to go online and really study and learn about these items, and that's how my business grew. From Instagram, we opened a Facebook page. From Facebook, we went ahead and I set up the website myself. So the reason why I set up a website is because there was a big need for a website for me because social media can only give you as much. I couldn't showcase all the products I had, and there were constant questions about, like, do you have this, do you have that, do you have this? And that was wasting a lot of time that I could use to do other things. So the website really helped. Now customers go to the website, read about the products, see the prices, and then call me and ask me, is there something else I should be using besides the ones you guys have? I had to do a lot of mistakes. And I had to spend countless hours just trying to learn how a website should look, user experience. I didn't know that before. Like, I just thought it's a website. I mean, people see, put in cart and buy, but it's more than that. It's about the experience they get. This year I actually updated the website, and for me, for my customers, I know it's very important to let them shop by skin type. Most people just say, you know what, cleansers, moisturizers, but for me, I go ahead and even specify, do you have oily skin? These are all the products for people with oily skin types. These are all the products for people with hyperpigmentation or acne. So So it goes beyond the actual tech, and it's more a merge between what you know about the customer and the research and the information they've given you, and then how do you interpret it and make it a better experience for them shopping. Start with social media, understand your customers, understand the product you're selling before putting a lot of money into a website. And websites, I tell people, with time, websites are so easy. Like with about $150, that's like $15,000, you can have everything on your website and it would look amazing. Your customers wouldn't even know you're the one who created it. Yeah, like you don't have to invest a lot in a business to start with. Just start small, start with WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook. Actually, instead of paying someone $100,000, imagine how much stock $100,000 is. Our brains are wired to protect us from harmful or kind of like situations that make us really scared. And a part of it is saying, I can't. There's nothing you can't do. And especially now with the internet, there's a lot of information out there. There's nothing you can't create if you put your mind to it. And for me, one of the things that really hold me back is like, okay, I don't have enough money to pay someone to do this. It's not the right time to do this. I can't leave my job to do this. A lot of women are even scared of accepting that they have a business. Before I told my friends and family that I've set up this business called Sugar Punch, it took a long time. And there are friends who actually ordered from me when I had a website who had refused to order from me when I was trying to sell it to them one-on-one. But I never told them. I was like, okay, I'm just seeing your orders coming in, but it's fine. But then now I'm confident. I love my business. It has so many challenges like any other business. But sometimes if owning something actually helps you accept, and once you accept and love it, there's so many good ideas and so many things that can come out of it. So I have so many friends who think I'm a hero for getting out of employment and now running my own business. But I'm not. I'm just a risk taker. I'm just a little crazy. And sometimes I'm always like, it might not work right now. I might not be a millionaire right now. But I'm happy doing the things I love to do. And I'm happy helping women find their perfect skincare solution. You need to learn fast to earn fast. Like the faster you are learning, the faster you're opening your mind to new opportunities and new ideas, then the faster you'll actually reach your goal. For women who are kind of thinking tech is this big thing, it's not. You use Facebook, you use Instagram, that's tech. You use apps, that's tech. It's not so hard. People might look at you as that lady with a cash shop in the corner, but at least you have your cash shop in the corner and you're happy about it, right? And the reason why I applied for this is because I was tired of being scared of being an entrepreneur, being scared of talking about it. And I felt like the Women in Business program was a safe space for women to actually be the woman entrepreneur that you're supposed to be. And there's so many things I haven't learned yet. There's so many mistakes I've made. There's so many opportunities I'm yet to explore. And being in a safe space like this would actually help me bloom into that woman I hope I'll become.
My name is Terry Wamboi Machere. I'm the founder and managing partner of a company called SecVit Solutions. SecVit comes from the word secure innovations. So we are a software and cybersecurity consultancy firm, and we develop software solutions for companies that have different needs but are custom made to them. And also on the cyber space, we advise clients on how to ensure that they are secure in the systems that they put in place. When I was young, I didn't want to end up in tech. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. A lawyer because I liked the mini dresses and all that, but okay, it didn't work out. I had good grades from my high school that would get me into law, but I had a father who believed in giving me good education. And so at that time, the only university that was offering law in Nairobi was Quare. And he was not comfortable with taking me to Quare, so he wanted me to go to Strathmore University because of the values that it stands for. And so I was just told, go and choose a course in Strathmore because that's where I am going to pay your fees. And well, Strathmore didn't have law then, so I had a sister who was doing BCom there, and she was like, but there's a new course, it's called BBIT. And I was like, oh, okay, it's not so much. I mean, you know, they tell you it's more business and very little IT. I was like, okay, fine. So that's how I found myself doing BBIT and how I got introduced into the tech world. And since then, I've done everything technology. I've done a degree in BBIT, I've done my master's in IT, specialized in IT security. I've done certifications. I'm a certified ethical hacker. I'm a certified information system auditor, and I'm a certified information system manager. So, and I'm looking to also do my PhD. But that's how I got into tech, and I fell in love with it. I always knew, I was sure that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Because I like to be the ones to order how things are done, and I like to define my way, my steps and how I want them done. So I started by running a cyber, but because of when I was pursuing my master's, I needed hands-on experience into the IT security space, and I could not get that from the business. So I had to leave the business and go back to employment at a company called FinTech. And that's where I got the opportunity to gain the skills. But I knew I was only going to be there for 2 years and 4 months. And I remember it was a big argument with my dad. Why would I leave a white-collar job to go and risk? But well, I did it. And I just did the plunge and I moved, because in my mind I was very clear what I wanted. And first, initially, I started with a team of 5 people at a company called Omnis. Unfortunately, things didn't work out as we wanted, so we had some misunderstandings and we had to split. And then that was in 2016. So we ran the company for 2 years to 2018, but we split, and that's when I started now Secure Innovations with one of the partners. Entrepreneurship journey, well, it's not easy. In a country where you have to know so and so to get contracts, to do all that. But because of my beliefs and foundations, I want to do business the right way. I've been to offices of very big people in this country, but they have refused to give me the job and have asked for sexual favors. And as a woman, you have to know what you stand for. And I have had to say no. And I have had to tell them, if you can't give me the job because I have the capability to do it, then it's fine. I'm happy to leave. So there are those challenges, but I thank God that I have a very good support system. My partner is a gentleman, and he always pushes me to do stuff. I have very supportive men in my life, so even though I'm discriminated, it doesn't get into me. You just need to know what you stand for, and you can fall for anything, you know. Yes. It's not a job like accounts. You wake up and you know, I need to balance books. It changes every day, and you have to keep up with it. And for me, that just was interesting. It was exciting. As a lady, I would say there are challenges. People don't want to give you the job because they think you're a lady, you can't do it. But what I realize is when I show my papers, people are more receptive. The other thing is you find that you've got to believe in yourself. The confidence, the way you portray yourself really speaks a lot. So I have the challenges, yes, but they can be overcome. What I've learned even from the association I am of women, I'm in an association of women in security. And it's that when women come together, there is a power that they push. And when you're a part of a community, the challenges that I'm facing at that time, and someone is not in the same challenges, or they have faced them and they are able to help you move through those challenges. So being in a community helps you as a person grow and have the confidence to face what it is you're facing. Know that you're not the only one who is going through this, but you're a team that is moving towards the same goal. I think we need a lot of mentorship, because we need to make the young girls believe that it can be done. It's not a men's space. STEM as units, they're not men's space. I mean, what he can do, I can do. It's just for you to work hard towards it. But the generation of today is tricky because there are no people who concentrate for long time lifespan. Yeah? It's very short, yeah. So even in terms of teaching, you have to do a lot of practical stuff. You can't be talking without engaging them. They're a bit difficult, but yes, they can be trained, and they've grown up with tech. They have so much knowledge that we pretend to know more than they do, but they have grown up with it, yes. In this day and era, I can tell you there are so many opportunities for women in tech because we are so few. And better yet, in cybersecurity, we are almost no one. So the opportunities are so immense. If you can focus and get your grades right, you have to go through the entire process. Don't go to River to get those papers. I mean, get it the right way, because the knowledge you gain in class is what you will apply in the field. There are no shortcuts. If you don't get it, you will have to read when you're working. So I would encourage, if you want to go for it, I mean, go for it. There's nothing that should stop you. Like Eliud says, no human is limited. So I believe it's achievable for me. So yeah. I think my highlight for me is the impact I've had done to the young people. I think that really touches me. When you go to schools and you give the skills to the young people, the yearning they have for the knowledge is just immense. That moves me. Wow, for me, I think the coolest part of my job is when you are auditing a system and you get to get so much information about people and they don't know you know that information, and you have to pretend like everything is okay. So for me, that makes me happy, that I know what's going on, and you can't ask me what's going on because I have to unveil everything before I give you your feedback. So it's just exciting.